Good evening. The Town Hall meeting of the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners for May the 20th, 2024 is now in session at 7 p.m. Well, now I know what I sound like. Let me call the roll. Commissioner Rutledge,
Here.
Commissioner Chismar,
Here.
Commissioner Taylor,
Here.
Commissioner Chance. Here. All right. If you could all join me in rising to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion of the agenda items this evening? No? In that case, Mr. Krantz?
The motion to approve tonight's agenda is on the floor. Commissioner Rutledge, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar?
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor?
Aye.
Commissioner Chance?
Aye.
And Chair Edding.
Aye.
The motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Next, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Chance. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion of the minutes? No? Mr. Krantz?
The motion to approve this evening's minutes for the Board of Commissioners meetings held on April 30th, May 6th, and May 8th to be approved as submitted. Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Commissioner Edding.
Aye.
The minutes are approved.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Next on our agenda is the promotion of Jessica Fiedler to Police Communications Operator 2. If you'll step forward to the podium. You have quite the big audience. It's nice to meet you. Step up here. PCO Jessica, or Jess Fiedler, has a strong background in public safety along with emergency service. Jess was born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. She became a Baltimore County Explorer in 1994 and rose to the rank of lieutenant. Both her father and brother became Baltimore County police officers. Upon graduating from high school, Jess moved to Harford County. While living in Harford County, Jess became a paramedic and remains active with the Havre de Grace Ambo Corps. She continued her education, ultimately earning a master's degree in psychology from the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. She is currently working toward her PhD in forensic psychology. Very impressive. Jess began her career with the Bel Air Police Department in May of 2022 as a part-time dispatcher. She has become an excellent multitasker, working in a demanding environment, dispatching a variety of calls with the utmost professionalism. Jess is a resolute and hardworking employee, oftentimes working overtime to cover shortages in dispatch. She currently works a split shift, 2 midnight shifts from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. and 2 shifts from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. She has become a welcomed addition and a tremendous asset to the Bel Air Police Department and is most deserving of her well-earned promotion to PCO2. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And those are some ugly shift hours, I have to say. So thank you so much. This is a little something for you to celebrate your promotion with. And here is the certificate of promotion signed by the chief as well as the town administrator, Mr. Hopkins. So thank you so much for coming to Harford County and working dispatch.
Thank you.
So I'm going to have a little something to say here too, right? All right, for our younger squad members in here, anybody know what a PCO is? It's a police communications operator. They sit behind the radio and they dispatch the calls. So you might hear me saying dispatch in here. So that's what they do. It's like the person behind the scenes protecting the police officers on the street and the citizens in the community. So dispatching is not an easy task, as we know. Dispatchers are responsible for handling the unimaginable, from helping the citizens with routine questions such as, what's the weather outside, right? You always get that one, to, of course, dealing with the life-threatening calls for service. Dispatchers are the lifeline for the patrol force, for the cops on the street. And and have routinely been that guardian for an officer who is involved in a knockdown, anything from a knockdown, drag-out fight, or other life-threatening situations involving the citizens. I know firsthand that when things aren't going right, and you know too, and an officer is praying and screaming on the radio, you know when their voice picks up, you know when something's wrong. That officer is praying for that dispatcher to get them help there, and all of our dispatchers, and every dispatcher I know has never let me down or any officers that I know down. It is the worst feeling in the world as a dispatcher to hear that elevated yell or scream. And I know that Jess is one of those strong, confident sentinels behind the mic that has the fortitude and calm, cool, and collected personality that gets the help there in very quick time. Dispatching in today's modern world requires a tech-savvy ability, remembering keyboard shortcuts, logarithms, to improve efficiency at documenting and dispatching calls. It is important, that's important because you have calls coming in simultaneously, so speed and efficiency are very, very critical in a dispatching job. Watching 5 computer screens at a time and dozens of other surveillance screens throughout the town. Most importantly, keeping track of the officers' movements out there throughout the shift. Without question, dispatchers are the unsung heroes of any police department, and that goes without saying. It's the same with our department. Jess started as, just as the mayor said, Jess started out as a part-time dispatcher and soon elevated to full-time. Bless you. She has a reputation, and I spoke to other dispatchers, and I know this is a fact, as a team player, and you are often volunteering for many additional work shifts. You're motivated, and I guess we're going to be calling you Dr. Dispatcher soon, right? Very intelligent. Dates one of our best cops. Got her family here. Why don't you raise your hand? They're very proud of her. Dates one of our best cops, Kevin Kadoff. And you're one of our best dispatchers. She's also incredibly attentive to our surveillance cameras. In one recent incident, she takes pride in catching those little things. And I call them hooligans now. She had 2 hooligans, caught 2 hooligans on the top of the garage. And I guess they thought it would be a good idea to push off a cart off the top of the garage roof. And you caught them. You saw that. And guess what was waiting for them down at the bottom?
The officers.
Bel Air's finest, right? Yeah. Also, other crimes you've have foiled by just being attentive. And it's a sign that you've bought into the town. And you are to be congratulated on the well-deserved promotion. You are truly an asset to the town of Bel Air and to our police department. I'm very proud that you're here and proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ready for pictures? Oh, yeah. 150.
If any of your family
Let me
members
get
would like to
your-
take
would you
some
like to get-
pictures.
Come on up. Come on. Come on up, Mama Kadoff and
Absolutely.
Kevin.
Absolutely. Some pictures with your family.
Eddie, you want? Our town administrator, you've probably known Kevin and the rest of the Kadoffs for hundreds of years, right?
He said family, get out of here.
All right. Moving on to our next presentation, we have the Historic Preservation Commission's poster contest results. Commissioner Rutledge?
The moment so many have been waiting for. So I'd like to begin with first presenting a proclamation for Historic Preservation Month from the Commissioners to the Historic Preservation Commission. We have our chair, Jeff Campbell, here. All right, and we also have another member, Joe Wojciechowski. Laura Bianca Pruitt, who is the planner, who is our most important liaison with that commission. So I will read this proclamation from the commissioners. Bel Air, Maryland Proclamation, Historic Preservation Month. Whereas historic preservation is an effective tool for managing growth, revitalizing neighborhoods, fostering local pride, and maintaining community character while enhancing livability. And whereas historic preservation is relevant for communities across the nation, both urban and rural, and for Americans of all ages, all walks of life, and all ethnic backgrounds. And whereas it is important to celebrate the role of history in our lives and contributions made by dedicated individuals in helping to preserve the tangible aspects of the heritage that has shaped us as a people. And now, therefore, we, the Bel Air Board Town of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2024 to be designated Historic Preservation Month in the town of Bel Air and call upon the citizens of Bel Air to recognize and participate in this special observance. So now I present this to the chair, Jeffrey Campbell, most able chair of this committee. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, now I'm going to call up the winners, first by school for honorable mention, and then our overall prize winners. So after I call your name, you can come up and you'll be presented with the poster of your drawing, as well as a gift card. We also have a gift bag for every student that will be in our reception. So after all of the names are called, so basically you'll come up individually here, and then you'll stand in front of what's called the dais, and then we'll do a large group picture at the end, and then we'll head to the community room for a reception. And each student also has in their gift bag a Town of Bel Air lunchbox, as well as Bel Air, an architectural and cultural history book. So I'm going to start with Homestead Wakefield Elementary School honorable mentions. I'm reading these in alphabetical order. Elijah Dayberry, who drew the William Doxson House. Nolan Guy, Hayes House. Ben Kraft, Bel Air Armory. Okay. St. Margaret's School. Palmer Schwind, Bel Air Armory. Kenzie Kozel, Harford County Courthouse. Emma Lindauer, Harford County Courthouse. Okay, Harford Day School. We have one honorable mention that couldn't make it tonight, so I'm just going to announce his name, Dominic Hibley, Bel Air Railroad Station. Bobby Knotts, First Presbyterian Church. All right, Rocco Trancucci, Fulford Cottage. Before I read our overall first, second, and third place winners, I just want to thank Vagabond Sandwich Company for their kind donation of gift cards, and also for all the winners. There are placemats that have been printed that are going to go in a few different restaurants in town, one of which is Vagabond. A couple more that we're still confirming, but I'll definitely let the teachers know so that you can then go dine there and see your work as a placemat. So now for our overall winners. In third place, Asher Siskar from St. Margaret's School, Drew Leary Dendron. Second place, Amel Lewis Shakur from Harford Day School, Drew Bel Air Academy. And our first place winner, Cece Hart from Hartford Day School, Drew Hopkins House. Yes, round of applause for everyone.
Do we want to grab the commissioners or have them stand or get them involved?
Hey, they could stand.
2 tiers, yeah. Don't cover your face though.
Oh, oh.
So thank you to all the participants. Okay. All right, on to the next item on our agenda, which would be the public hearing for Resolution 1228-24, fiscal year 2025 tentative budget. Ms. Moody?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have to wait for Mr. Krantz because he's
That's okay, we'll
taking
wait for
care
Mr.
of
Krantz.
the slideshow for me. So this evening, we're going to review the sewer and parking funds, which are considered enterprise funds, as well as the special revenue fund, as we reviewed the general fund at the first public hearing in April. So we're going to start with sewer fund revenues. Overall, the fund is proposed to increase $2,857,860. From the revenue side, the base charge, which is based on the meter size and the rate per 1,000 gallons, includes a 4.1% increase based on the December 23 Consumer Price Index. This means that the rate would increase from $7 to $7.29 per 1,000 gallons, and it would be effective on July 1 of 2024. Town code does allow for an automatic CPI increase each year, and thus the budget is doing just that. Also in the revenues, an estimated $3,445,000 of the American Rescue Plan, or ARPA, monies will fund the sewage treatment costs to Harford County, which will allow the town to use those savings to complete the design and provide construction drawings for 3 pumping stations, the substantial repair and replacement to 2 of those stations, and the replacement of a vehicle. Next slide. On the expense side, you'll see that the change in the sewer fund is exactly the same as the revenues, hence a balanced budget. In general, $621,000 will fund routine expenses to operate and maintain the sewer system. You know, that includes salaries, utilities, supplies, maintenance and repairs, as well as outsourcing of our sewer bills. Almost $2 million will fund the payment to Harford County, who transports and treats the town's sewage system, since we do not have our own. $416,000 will reimburse the general fund for its pro rata share of salaries, benefits, and overhead that are attributable to the fund's operations. $3,380,000 will fund the design and provide construction drawings for 3 pumping stations, as well as the substantial repair and replacement to 2 of those stations, which I mentioned earlier on the revenue side. $65,000 will fund the replacement of our sewer pickup truck, and about $3,300 will fund interest-only debt service payments for existing bonds. Next slide. With regard to the parking fund, there is a decrease that's proposed in this fund of $5,551. On the revenue side, we have Harford County does reimburse the town 2/3 of the operating costs. So the town takes care of the maintenance and the operation of the garage, and then the county reimburses us 2/3 of the actual costs at the end of the fiscal year. The county also reimburses the fund 2/3 of an annual contribution to the Capital Improvement Reserve account, which equates to $10,080. So $15,000 is distributed into the Capital Improvement Reserve in total, which includes the town's share. There are 3 main sources of revenue in the parking fund: meter collections, which includes, of course, the town's meters, the parking garage vouchers, and payments through Park Mobile. That equates to just under $135,000. Parking fines are based on history at $76,000, and then the lease fees in the budget are actually the monthly leases that we had on hand when the budget was prepared at the end of March. Those are for the 3 lots as well as the parking garage, and equates to almost $61,000. Next slide. Similar to the sewer fund, you'll see that the expenses in the parking fund equate to the revenues, hence a balanced budget. We break down the expenses in the parking fund into really 3 categories, mainly for auditing purposes, for the parking garage when Harford County audits our books before they make their 2/3 payment. With regard to lots, $201,402 is budgeted for operations, which includes monies owed to the general fund for its pro rata share of salary, benefits, and overhead. Within the parking garage, $221,593 is for operations, as well as the monies owed to the general fund, but it also includes a few debt service interest-only payments. The parking garage also has that $15,000 to transfer to the capital reserve for future capital work that I mentioned earlier. And in the other category, which is the 3rd category, $151,210 is budgeted. That's mainly for depreciation costs on capital expenses, as well as a 19% collection fee that's paid to the vendor who processes our parking tickets. Next slide. So that leaves us with the special revenue fund, which is the fourth fund for the town. It does show a decrease of $192,445. However, that does, it ebbs and flows from year to year because the purpose of this account is really to account for grants and special projects. So as those grants come and go, this fund will increase and decrease. These projects and grants, though, don't lend themselves to the normal fiscal year budgeting, hence why they are included in the special revenue fund. The four that really have a significant change from the prior year, the first one being Explorer Scouts. The budget is $22,725. We submitted a grant application to the Governor's Office of Crime Control and Prevention, as we've done probably in the last 3 or 4 years. That helps the Explorers programs with regard to the camp that's going to be held actually next month, but it's held every year. Fundraising as well as their bingo, so it really helps with their costs. The seized property in the federal DOJ budget is $30,392. We anticipate receiving our portion of 3 forfeiture sharing cases with the DEA. That's been outstanding for a few years. We've been told that fiscal year 25 will be the year we see the money, so we'll see. Within the CDBG account, so that's the Community Development Block Grant project, it's a pass-through through Harford County. We do not receive funds directly from the federal government. The budget's $56,517, and it represents the remaining FY22 to 24 allotment grant years. The funding will be used to assist in the cost of replacing the armory windows. And lastly, the Community Parks and Playground Grant, $110,100 is budgeted. It will fund improvements to Plumtree Park and the installation of 4 additional AED units. The town's general fund and does include a $50,000 match. We were just recently notified that we were awarded the grant. It's slightly less than that $110,000, but not significant. So we were very happy to hear that news. And lastly, would just like to thank the board and the town staff for everyone's hard work and time during the budget season. And that's all I have for this evening. Thank you.
Well, since this is the public hearing, I'm going to see if there's anyone here from the public that wishes to make a public comment, and I see no one here. So we will, but Dave, I want to know if Dave wanted to make a public comment. No, he's shaking his head no. All right. In that case, we will open and close the public comment period of this evening's agenda at 7:33 and move on to 7A, new business. Resolution 1229-24, fiscal year 2025, the final budget. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that proposed resolution number 1229-24, providing for the adoption of a final budget for the town of Bel Air for fiscal year 2025, be adopted by the Board of Town Commissioners with the following amendments. In the general fund, increased real property taxes by a net $37,818. 1. Increase $40,000 to utilize a reduction in the town administrator's budget to pay for 2 capital projects, and 2. Decrease $2,182 to balance the budget. 2. Decreased American Rescue Plan ARPA by $1,774,500. 3. Increased transfer from capital reserve by $914,500. 4. Increased salaries and benefits in the various departments for monies stored in the other account within the miscellaneous department for the 3.5% COLA for a total of $341,249. 5. Note that the project for the dimmable lights in the auditorium, $15,000, under capital improvements in the Armory Department will not be paid from the capital reserve. 6. Decreased municipal league dues in the Administrator Department by $4,279. 7. Increased capital improvements in the Town Buildings Department by $175,000 for the Ma and Pa Comfort Station to be paid from capital reserve. 8. Decreased capital projects in the Planning Department by $995,000, which remove the following. 1. $300,000 for Plumtree Park Play Service, $585,000 for the Burns Alley project, and 3, $110,000 for Phase 2 of the Thomas George Street project. 9. Note that the project for the improvement to Homestead Park, $80,000 playground equipment and $200,000 play service under capital improvements in the planning department will not be paid from salary benefit savings which ARPA funded, but rather funded from the capital reserve. 10. Note that the wayfinding signage project, $25,000 under capital improvements in the planning department will not be paid from the capital reserve. 11. Decrease salaries benefit in the technology department by $2,780. This is due to the restructuring of personnel positions by combining the part-time IT assistant and full-time desktop computer user support specialist to a full-time computer network support specialist. 12. Increase miscellaneous expenses in the miscellaneous department by $1,000 to fund a contribution to the Harford County Education Fund. 13. Decreased other in the miscellaneous department by $341,249 to transfer the monies for the 3.5% COLA to the applicable salary and benefit accounts in the various departments. 14. Increased volunteer fire company contribution in the public safety by $5,000. 15. Note that the vehicles, $169,500, under police vehicles, capital in the police department would not be paid from salary benefit savings which ARPA funded, but rather funded from the capital reserve. 16. Note that the vehicles, $330,000, under vehicle equipment, capital in the Public Works, Streets, and Highways Department will not be paid from salary benefit savings which ARPA funded, but rather funded from the capital reserve. 17. It is the intention of the board to utilize ARPA monies to pay for the town general fund operational expenses, salaries, and benefits in the amount shown in the budget, $890,000, which will then enable the town to use those monies to pay for the Thomas George Street project. Under the sewer fund, 1. Increase salaries benefits for the money stored in the other account for the 3.5% COLA for a total of $8,050. 2. Decrease town operation expenses for the money stored in the other account by $8,050 to transfer the monies for the 3.5% COLA to the applicable salary and benefits accounts. 3. It is the intention of the board to utilize ARPA monies to pay for the town sewer fund operational expenses, Harford County charges for sewage treatment, in the amount shown in the budget, $3,445,000, which will then enable the town to use those monies to pay for the various projects as outlined on page 17 in the FY25 budget. The amendments to the tentative budget were previously discussed at the May 14th, 2024 budget session and are reflected in the 7-page final budget.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. Do I have a second?
Oh, second? After all that work, yes.
After all that hard work. Ms. Moody, anything additional on this?
No, ma'am, other than well done, Mr. Taylor. No, I don't have anything else to add. Thank you.
Any questions or comments from the board? All right, in that case, I think we're ready for a vote. Mr. Krantz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is for the vote to adopt Resolution 122924, the fiscal year 2025 final budget. Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance, and Chair Edding.
Aye.
Resolution 122924 is approved.
All right. Acceptance of the fiscal year 2023 audit. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I recommend that the audit for FY23 ending June 30th, 2023, completed by S&B and Company LLC, be accepted by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Chismar. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Moody?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the audit for fiscal year 23 was another in a series of good audits for the town. This is the second of a 3-year contract with the option for 2 additional years with SB and Company. The excess of revenues over expenditures for the fiscal year was $1,383,978 due to receiving more in revenues and spending less than budgeted. There were no major internal control issues or deficiencies involved in the audit, hence no management letter comment. The town continues to maintain a healthy general fund unassigned fund balance totaling $2,671,791, which is almost $110,000 increase when compared to the previous year. This was mainly due to the net transfer debit of $28,723 to the stabilization reserve to meet policy against the transfer credit of $129,649, which is the remaining excess revenue of our expenditures. The town did make several transfers to and from different reserves. We transferred $29,712 to the Stormwater Management Reserve, resulting in an ending balance of $301,497. We transferred $28,723 to the Stabilization Reserve, with an ending balance of $1,447,316. The town transferred $1,063,935 to the Capital Reserve, which resulted in an ending balance of $4,485,21. We utilized $87,648 to pay for leave payouts during the year, so we used reserve money for that. And then we transferred into the leave payout reserve $248,330, which resulted in an ending balance of $300,000, which is the maximum we can carry in that reserve account. Now, actual revenues were more than budgeted revenues in the general fund by $1,254,000. This resulted mainly from receiving more in real property taxes of $57,000, public utility taxes of $27,000, business corp taxes of $25,000, state shared income taxes of $735,000, which we've talked about is a little bit of an anomaly. We received a one-time payment of $300,000, and then our end of the year distributions were higher than anticipated. State shared police aid, $43,000. Our equipment vehicle sale proceeds, $60,000. Interest rates remained high, which brought us in investment income of $98,000 more than anticipated. And then we also recognized more ARPA monies than we anticipated of $182,000. On the expenditure side, actual expenditures were less than budgeted by a net of $218,000. This resulted mainly from savings in general government of $90,000, police department $205,000, and the public works department of $203,000, as well as spending more than budget in the town hall police department construction account in the amount of $287,000. Now, of the $498,000 gross savings in the three departments that I mentioned earlier, approximately $324,000 was due to salary and benefit savings as a result of vacancies. And then we had some other unused funds in town buildings, planning, and street. On to the parking fund. Parking fund showed a net loss in the amount of $68,470. This is due to actual revenues and parking fines being less than budget. However, the net loss of almost $17,000 was actually less than what we anticipated transferring from the retained earnings in order to balance the budget of $85,000. The sewer fund, unfortunately, also showed a net loss this year in the amount of $132,791. But the reason for this is solely due to the Harford County sewer bulk rate being more than budgeted, which resulted in more expense to treat the town's sewage. The town's three fiduciary funds, however, the civilian pension, the sworn officer's pension, as well as the other post-employment benefits, all showed a positive change in net position of $797,000, $757,000, and $76,000, all due to the investment gains. The market was positive and rates were up. The audit report is available on the town's website, and the staff recommends that the Board of Town Commissioners accept the fiscal year 23 audit. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moody. And the bulk rate deficit is really caused by the fact that you don't get the bulk rate dollar figure from the county until very late in the budget year, so it's difficult to figure out what it's going to be and plan for it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And it also increased $1.08, which was the largest rate increase in the history since I've been tracking it in the early 90s.
That is a big one,
Yep.
for sure. All right. Any of the commissioners have any questions or comments, discussion? No? And since there are no members of the public here, we'll forego public comment, and Mr. Krantz, we're ready for the vote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is for the vote to accept the audit for the year ending June 30th, 2023. Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
The audit is accepted.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Next on our list is the Harford County Town of Bel Air Sewer Service Addendum. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the attached addendum to the Harford County Town of Bel Air Sewer Service Agreement pertaining to a revision in the sewer usage charge, E&R fee, and system development fee be approved by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Chismar. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Thank you, Commissioner Rutledge. And Ms. Moody.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In December of '23, the town received a proposed revision in the sewer user charge from Harford County. This is the charge which the county levies on the town as a bulk customer and user of its sewer transmission and treatment facilities. Changes in the user charge are provided for in the County-Town 1988 Sewer Service Agreement. The agreement requires that each annual change in the user charge be adopted by both the county and the town in a contractual addendum. Now, even though the E&R fee and the system development fee are not included in the agreement, the county and the town both agreed that it should be included in each addendum. We received the proposed addendum to the agreement from the Harford County Law Department for the new, our fiscal year '24 user charge of $5.26 and the E&R fee of 17 cents for each 1,000 gallons of sewage treated, as well as the system development fee of $10,338 per 5/8 equivalent area connection charge. In fiscal year '23, the user charge was $4.85, and the E&R fee was 18 cents. Also, the system development fee was 4.5% less. They have in their code that the system development fee automatically increases by 4.5% each year. The reason for the 41-cent user charge increase, though, was due to an increase in the applicable Harford County expenses. And I say applicable because they're all laid out within that 1988 sewer agreement. The Public Works Department, as well as my department, reviewed the supporting data provided with the proposed user charge. We found that the calculation was accurate and in accordance with the method as set forth in the 88 agreement. The E&R fee was added in fiscal year 2016 and will continue until Harford County's debt service has been paid off to fund the project. The staff recommends approval of the annual addendum to the Harford County Town of Bel Air Sewer Service Agreement.
Thank you,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Moody. Any questions or comments from the board? All right, and we will dispense with public comments since there's no members of public present. And Mr. Krantz, we're ready for a vote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is for the vote to approve the addendum to the Harford County Town of Bel Air Sewer Service Agreement. Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance, and Chair Edding.
Aye.
The addendum is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. And now, public announcements. All town offices will be closed on Monday, May the 27th in observance of Memorial Day. Please visit our website, belairmd.org, for more information about the changes in the residential trash pickup schedule. The community is invited to Bel Air's annual Memorial Day ceremony in Shamrock Park on Monday, May 27th, as we honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice while serving our nation in uniform. The Bel Air Community Band will perform patriotic music starting at 10:30 a.m., and the ceremony begins at 11 a.m. We extend our heartfelt thanks to American Legion Post 39 in Bel Air for coordinating this event each year. The Farmers Market continues on Saturdays in May and June from 8 a.m. till noon at the Mary Ristow Building at 2 South Bond Street. The Bel Air Downtown Alliance is hosting the Bel Air Community Yard Sale and Flea Market on Sunday, May the 26th. The event runs from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and will be in the parking lot of the Mary Ristow Building at 2 South Bond. The Committee on the Elderly and Needy Citizens will meet at 8:30 a.m. on Wednesday, May the 22nd in the community room at the Bel Air Police Department. Also on May 22nd at 4:30 p.m., Emerton Elementary School will have its Bel Air 150th Art Show. The Historic Preservation Commission will meet at 6 p.m. on Thursday, May 23rd here at Town Hall. The Board of Commissioners will hold a work session at 5:15 p.m. on Tuesday, May 28th at Bel Air Town Hall. The annual Bel Air Town Run is scheduled for Sunday, June 2nd, starting on Main Street in downtown Bel Air and ending at Shamrock Park. Race time is 8 a.m. Visit belairtownrun.com to register for either a 5K run or a 1-mile fun run walk, and virtual versions of both races are also available. The Town of Bel Air Summer Concert Series kicks off for 2024 on Sunday, June 2nd in Shamrock Park. The Bel Air Community Chorus will perform its Voices Lifted concert starting at 7 p.m. Visit the Town of Bel Air government page on Facebook for a full schedule of this summer's concert series. The 50 Shades of Green art exhibit at the Hartford Artists Association Gallery in Armory Marketplace is open and runs through June the 30th. The gallery is open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wednesday through Friday and 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. Visit artinhartford.org for more information. Did I miss anything?
That
Nope.
was a lot.
That was a lot. All right. Well, we have no members of the public, so we'll skip public comment and move on to commissioners' comments. I, for one, would like to thank Ms. Moody and your staff for all the hard work that you did on the budget. I know it is a huge project to undertake, and I know it was also a huge undertaking for all the rest of the departments, police department, planning department, economic development, DPW, the administration. A lot of numbers, a lot of compromises have to be made, and I really feel that this year we did a good job at putting out something that balances our needs, balances our interests, and we made some compromises, but in the end, I think we have a pretty good product. So thank you for all your work.
Thank you.
Here, here.
Madam Chair, I want to take a moment to commend the organizers of Bike to Work Day in Hartford County for putting on a successful, very early event on Friday morning. It was very well attended. The mayor and myself had the opportunity to present a proclamation declaring this past Friday as Bike to Work Day in Hartford County, and it was wonderful to see that many people who were willing to get moving that early in the morning in a manner of transportation that is sustainable and good for everyone. I also want to take a moment to congratulate the Appearance and Beautification Committee, and particularly Vice Chair Elaine Millard, who chairs the Garden Mart Subcommittee, on a very successfully run Garden Mart at the Bel Air Armory. It was a beautiful display. Bel Air colors are green. I've never seen the Bel Air Armory greener than it was Friday morning, so a very hearty congratulations to ABC for what I believe is their 7th annual event. And you can tell how much experience they have putting it on. It ran like a well-oiled machine. Elaine was jumping around, making sure that everything went well, and it was wonderful to see how many representatives we had from local garden organizations and local high schools. And finally, I just want to take a moment to echo the mayor's sentiments and offer my personal thanks to Lisa, Director Moody, to the town administrator, to all the department heads. This is a budget that, really takes a keen look at what matters to the town of Bel Air and fully funds it. I'm so proud to, have a budget that fully funds our public safety, our public works, that, make sure that the trains are running on time, that our community stays safe, and that, the water stays flowing in Bel Air, and doesn't stop short of, really funding some cool and exciting new things that are coming to Bel Air as well. We're able to balance those necessities with moving our community forward, and I'm very excited about that. We have a great year ahead with this budget leading us.
All right.
I won't say anything except ditto. Perfect, always so professional, all of you. It's an honor for us to sit here and work with you, so thank you for all your hard work. Thank you.
You make it easy for us.
All right.
Well, I would just say that, of course, I join in that. It's been informative, educational, it's been transparent. The process of the budget has been involved thorough discussions and debates, and it's been a great process. I want to thank my the rest of the commissioners here for their hard work, their attention to detail, and patience in the process. I want to certainly thank the Director Moody on an outstanding job. The audit shows what a phenomenal job you do, and the phenomenal job of leadership that the audit process turned out so positive. Many things, of course, beyond our control, but you clearly have great insight to how to anticipate things, which is 80% of the battle in financial success. And I do greatly appreciate that. Want to certainly commend our town administrator, Mr. Hopkins, and all of the department heads for the hard work they've done. I want to just also comment that there was an outstanding really demonstration of what a fine police force we have. Chief Moore, thank you very much for inviting Mayor Edding and myself to come out and for the inspection of the troops, to allow us to personally inspect your car, which I would have never guessed had, over 100,000 miles on, is that correct? I would have clearly thought I was buying a brand new car. So that was great, and it's really an honor, to be able to live in a town. Really, it's a blessing to live in a town with the men and women that put their lives on the line. And it was, demonstrated through just the vigilance of, what is the official title of Ms. Fielder? Jessica Fielder, PCI. Well, that was a great story about how she noticed something on the cameras, the observation. That's exactly the kind of vigilance that keeps this town in good shape. And I was glad to be able to be part of that last Thursday morning and watch you. Yeah. That's all I have for this evening. Thank you.
All right. In that case, yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just have one other quick thing. It's just going to be easier to say it to all of you. Since the three of you, this is your first budget year, you are welcome to keep your budget books, but I will take your budget books if you don't want them. What we do is we will finalize all of the pages, and you all will have a master copy in the commissioner's conference room for you to reference anytime that you want to. So I didn't want you to feel like you had to take it home and it was going to get dusty and whatnot. Because if you don't give me your book now, which is okay, I'm going to ask for it next year so I can reuse it. Okay? So totally up to you.
And that is why we have a balanced budget and no increase in our tax rate.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it also available online? The book? Will the final book be available online?
We have never done that in the past. We've just put the 7-page budget on the website. That's certainly your call.
Because I was looking forward just to access it myself. I mean, instead of keeping the paper copy.
Yeah.
That's all. No problem. Yeah. Is it that? I mean, no problem. It's not a problem. No problem. Okay.
It's a scanning exercise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So there you go. Well, that'll be terrific. Although I am personally a big fan of paper, but, I'm working on it.
I know. I'm trying to declutter in the house. That's my problem.
All right. Anything else from anyone? No? In that case, we're adjourned.
Sure.
Actually, I should probably have a motion.